Welcome back to Talking Lead. This is episode 26. How's it going, Left Hand?
It's going great, man. I'm excited about our show today. We've got a good lineup.
Heck yeah, we do. I want to thank our bandwidth sponsors, Firearms Radio Network,
Holder and Green Professional Real Estate Services,
All or Nothing Tattoo Studio. That's www.allornothingtattoo.com, and their merchandise store, strangleholdmerch.com.
Next Level Training for the CERT pistol that we are thoroughly enjoying.
Heck yeah.
It's my turn with it this week. I get to take the baby home with me.
I can't wait to go shoot after having it. I can't wait to go shoot, and I'll go ahead and talk about my week in guns, which was absolutely nothing because I had LASIK eye surgery Friday, and I haven't really been able to do much of any fun stuff since then. I mean, I got better the next day, but I was practicing with the CERT pistol a lot because of that.
Yeah, but you couldn't go outside or do anything. I mean, I asked you to come over and hang out at the house.
The pool, yeah. Because that was the next day. I couldn't swim. I can't swim.
I can't get out in the sun.
I can't swim for a month. I've been kind of light sensitive, but he said that's normal when you have astigmatism, which is what I had. But I tell you what.
That's why they make sunglasses.
The vision, like being able to focus on the front sight, at least on the CERT pistol, has been night and day. I mean, it's amazing how much better. And actually, my surgeon is going to come on the show in about a month or two, and we're going to talk about good eyesight and shooting and guns and red dot sights. It'll be a fun episode. That's about it, my week. What about you?
I've still been dealing with the tornado damage that I had, so I've been dealing with adjusters and contractors and bull crap like that. So I missed the CERT pistol because I didn't get my practice in.
Did you cry?
I'm starting to get my pot belly back, man, because I'm not going to do my sit-ups with it.
See, I didn't do any sit-ups with it. I should have been doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's pretty cool. But no, I got some plans for us with the gun, setting up some courses at the Talking Lead. What do we call it? Is it the range? or
the boneyard?
Yeah. We're compound. What did we decide we're going to call it?
We're going to call where the range we made the boneyard. I think we're going to call the rest the
overall
the ranch,
facility.
Talking Lead Ranch.
Talking Lead Ranch, right. So got some fun stuff hopefully planned for that.
Nice.
Coming up.
And then we've got a couple of guests from north of the border. We've got Trevor Furlot.
Take off to the great
and
take off.
Should we play the well, I was going to play right here.
No, play Canada! Play Canada! With all the beating little boys and clapping heads.
Excellent. I love that.
So we've got Trevor Furlot and Brian. I used to say Bolivar all the time. And,
what?
And Left Hand would always say Bolivar. And then finally when I heard your podcast, I realized, oh, it is Bolivar.
Brian Bolivar.
Well, at least you listen. That's good.
How's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Tell us about your weekend guns.
You want to go first, Brian? Because you know how long I take, right?
Well, yeah, you do. And I got a comment. You asked how I was, and really today I'm not doing that well, fellas.
Why is that?
Well, it's really hot. I'm driving around in my car with the roof open, and the sun's beating down, and I about got sunstroke. It's like I need a hat or something to cover up my head.
It's in the mail, I swear. My wife did it for me yesterday.
Look, guys, look, I know what happened. You guys went down to the NRA convention. You gave my hat to Dustin Ellerman. I'm okay with that. That's fine.
At least you know Dustin Ellerman is wearing my hat.
That's it. Every time I see
you can
Dustin,
tell everybody that.
Dude, that's my hat. That's pretty cool.
That's right.
That could be your new claim to fame.
There you
Somebody
go.
is way cooler than me has my hat.
That's my point. Thank you, Trevor. Yes.
He may want you to autograph it.
we can work that out. Sure.
You know, we had 3 for him to choose from, and we said, that one's reserved for Brian Bolivar. He goes, the guy from the Canadian podcast? I was like, yeah. He goes, I want it. Got to have it.
He begged for that one.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it.
Okay, DE, it's yours.
You made the right choice. That is what you would. If the tables were turned, I would give away your hat in an instant.
In an instant.
In fact, I would take the hat off your head and give it to Dustin Ellerman.
Awesome.
So, okay, what did I do in guns this week? I actually got to the range to just do a little practice, not a match or anything on the weekend, which was good. I was working on just checking to see if I'm developing a flinch or anything like that, and that seemed to work out well. No flinch.
You got rid of your yips?
Yeah, I don't know what.
I noticed you had some yips a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I had some yips the last match I went to, and I was trying to sort those out, and so far I haven't found it, so hopefully it's gone. And then I got to plink a little bit with the pistol, get some practice in there, because I haven't been shooting my pistol much at all, and man, I love my 1911. It shoots so nice. It's all good.
What kind of 1911 do you have?
I have a pretty old.
Get this. You're gonna love this.
Oh yeah, I've got a Para-Ordnance SSP made in Canada.
Canada.
Wow.
Back in the day.
Back before Para-Ordnance became Para-USA.
So did you buy it new?
Oh God, no. No, I bought that used. I
Gotcha.
buy most of my guns used. They don't break. You don't have to buy new guns all the time. It's nice, but
Well, it's nice to have a variety. That's the way I look at it.
Well, the other pistol in my hand here, my M&P, I bought that new.
Yeah, we had
That
this
hasn't-
discussion on a show a while back. Is every time I buy more than one gun at a time, my intention is to either trade or sell one or two of them, and I always end up keeping them. So it never ends.
Yeah, that happens. I have a theory that if I kept all the guns I've ever had, my house would leak guns.
When leak guns,
I don't
you could
mind
build a house of
trade-
guns.
Yeah, well, I don't mind trading guns once in a while.
Oh, I don't mind trading as long as the trade's right.
Yeah, well, I'm never good at trading. I can get my hands on a really nice gun, and in 2 or 3 trades, I can have a complete piece of junk in my hands for sure.
all of a sudden, you end up trading down, huh?
Yeah, it seems to be the way I do things. So that's about it. Now, I was going to go to the range today, but somebody had to reschedule something. So,
I don't know what you're
Don't
talking
be
about.
mad. Come on now.
again, yeah, that's good.
So what about you,
That was
Trevor?
a pretty busy week. Shot 2 matches. I shot one 3-gun match. That was pistol, rifle, and shotgun. And then the second day was a match at my club. It was a level 2 IPSC match. That was pistol only. Finished 4th in one and 1st in the other one. So it was pretty constructive weekend. And Tuesday night, the host, my fellow host from Slamfire Radio, came over to join me and Owen brought a buddy with him from their home club. And the purpose for their trip was we were supposed to all go out on a lobster fishing boat. The owner of the boat has a license to shoot seals because the seals are quite a nuisance and they cause a lot of problems for the fishery. So he actually has a license to shoot seals. So we were going to go out and
Interesting.
partake. Yeah, it was going to be a good time. But unfortunately, the
PETA
weather can't-
loves you guys, don't they?
Oh yeah, well, you know what PETA stands for up here, right?
People eating tasty animals.
You know it.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
So I was going to harvest seal flippers for all my podcasting friends, but alas, it didn't work out.
Alas.
We're going to try and be back in
So we send you guys hats, and you send us seal flippers.
It's the Canadian way.
That's a whole different kettle of fish.
There you go.
When we send you seal flippers, they are dipped in maple syrup. It's all good.
Well, then that makes it much better.
Stuffed with Canadian bacon.
Oh,
Bacon is good. I love
So
bacon.
anyway, the weather canceled that, so we just spent the day at the range doing some drills, just moving drills and clearing house drills and running around with our pistols and our rifles and playing like that. It was a lot of fun.
So you both are pretty into the competition shootings, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Probably of all the Canadian podcasters, I think Brian and I are the ones that do the most competition. The rest of the guys do shoot some stuff at their local clubs, but Brian would travel around Ontario and shoot service rifle matches, and I travel around Atlantic Canada to shoot IPSC matches.
the left hand and I have been into talking about doing competitions for about 10 months now.
We
so,
talk a lot about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's easy for you guys. I mean, you just find an IDPA club nearby and show up, find out what category your pistol will put you in, and start shooting.
Yeah. There's one every Tuesday night that we say we're going to go to every Monday, and we don't go.
And always come. You got to try it. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and I encourage anyone who carries to get out there and shoot competition. Not because competition shooting is going to make you a better defensive pistol shooter, or make you any better on the street, or give you the skills you need for an actual quote unquote gun battle. But you will practice the fundamentals of marksmanship. You'll practice getting the pistol out of the holster cleanly, quickly, and
So everything you need to know to make yourself a better shooter. So yes, it will make you a better shooter.
It will make you a better shooter.
Absolutely.
It'll improve your shooting skills, but
Yeah.
you still need to take other kind of courses. Like the stuff that
sure.
you guys do with Jaeger.
It won't necessarily make you a better gunfighter, but it'll make you a better shooter.
Right.
That's right.
Sure.
And certainly you'll improve more than sitting on your sofa with your gun in your hip pocket and not shooting it. So
Exactly. I forget what show it was on. It might have been this show. Yeah, I think it was this show. there was a guest on, I think, who mentioned he was carrying his brand new gun that he hadn't shot yet, and shivers went down my spine.
His EDC was his brand new. What was that? Was it a SIG?
That was 1911, wasn't it?
I can't remember what it was, but yeah,
Okay,
we both chuckled at that one too.
Yeah, so
Bless his heart.
other than that, I'm doing some shopping for some Glock parts. I'm thinking about building a second competition pistol in 9mm. Right now I shoot a 40, and I basically want to build the same gun, but in 9mm. I shoot a Glock 35.
Cool. We know a guy.
Oh, you know a guy?
We know a guy. What kind of parts you need?
I'm going to go
Zach?
with magwell, tungsten guide rod, extended mag release, fiber optic front sight, all the bells and whistles, new trigger kit, the whole thing, right?
Yeah, talk to Zach at Lone Wolf.
Yeah, well, actually, I kind of off of Zach gave me a connector and a trigger spring at Mag 40 last September with the gun dudes.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I dropped that into one of my guns, and it is now the nicest feeling trigger of all the Glocks that I have, hands down.
Awesome.
And the previous trigger kits that I was using, or trigger springs rather, from Zev, 3 of us use them, and we're going through a spring or 2 a year, and that's crap. You can't be breaking trigger springs in your competition gun. So I'm done with those, and I'm going to get on to the Lone Wolf.
It's crap unless you're Zev.
Yeah, exactly. But
More money.
I remember that because I was at one of those competitions when the only gun that broke was a Glock.
using a Zev spring, it was
Yep.
Muffin's gun, and now
Yep,
Harold,
that's right.
Harold broke one. I broke one. I broke 2. So I change my spring kit every year just to be sure, but that's not necessary. I'm sure there's another company out there like Lone Wolf that's making a better spring kit. Now that I've gotten some, thank you, Zach. Yeah, I'm sold.
Now, Trevor, question: would you be able to just drop in a 9mm barrel on the gun you have?
I can, but then I wouldn't have another gun.
Yeah, okay, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, all right.
If I do it my way, I get another gun. If I do it your way, I don't. You follow me?
I no, and that's fine. I can appreciate that.
So we've got a new little segment here.
This is Gabby on Guns.
Yep, that's right, everybody. It's time for Gabby on Guns, and we've got Gabby Franco here with us again.
Hello, guys. How are
Hey,
you?
Gabby.
And
How are you,
So we
And
we seem to be jinxing you on the weather down there. You got another bad storm going through?
oh my goodness, this is Miami. This is South Florida for you. You never know when
So it's
gonna
not our
rain.
fault then, huh? Okay, good. We're not jinxes.
yeah,
I know. I hear you.
So you've had a lot going on since we last talked. When we last talked, we were trying to get you motivated to get your book out. Since then, you have released your book, right?
Yeah, it has been such a great adventure, and the funny thing is that I finished the book, I designed everything, the layout, the cover, and I was so trying to make it so perfect that would go to family members to review, and they were like, Gabby, it's perfect. But I felt like my parents telling me, yeah, it's great. For them, everything is perfect.
Right. You can't take what they say to heart, right?
And finally I said, you know what, that's it. It should be it. I think this is great. And when I sent it out and started receiving all the feedback from people that have read it, that they are using it, and they're saying, Gabby, this is amazing. This is a great product. I'm like, wow, great, It's awesome.
Congratulations. We're glad you got that out finally. And it's called Troubleshooting, right?
Well, it is the troubleshooting is the name of all the series. It's going to be a series of books.
oh wow,
So yeah, and not only in English, I'm already working on obviously to make it for Kindle, and also in Spanish. All my manuals are going to be both languages.
Nice.
I won't forget about my people. Also.
Not going to forget about your heritage, yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. And so this first one is all about marksmanship with a pistol.
Okay.
That's pretty much how I grew up and how I studied it. And so on. I'm going to do some others about mindset, and which I think is very important. You can't be a complete shooter or an athlete if you don't have a mindset of, sportsmanship, and especially self-control, which is one of
Sure.
the things that always amazed me, not only for other people, but even for myself. how your mind, how to control your mind, and how to make things happen still just by controlling it.
So, if people wanted to get the book, how can they get it right now?
Well, right now they can get it through Amazon.com.
Okay.
And you just can go to check in books, Troubleshooting Gabby Franco. They can go to my website, www.gabbyfranco.com. And soon I'm going to have them on my website. You can find the link that takes you directly to the Amazon website. But soon on my website, I'm going to have them for sale so I can do autographed and personalized. And not only that, they're going to be numbered.
Kind of like you did that Glock that we saw.
Oh my goodness, that was funny.
That was awesome.
That was in Kabul, Missouri, but I had a great time over there.
So that was one of your training classes that we talked about last show that you're traveling around the United States doing, right?
Yes, in Miami, most of my students are men. Like I would say 80% of them are men. Most people think that I teach women. No, most of my students are men. So I designed this training class just for women. And it's not only a shooting class, it's also a seminar. And I talk about crime prevention, firearms, and I give them a very nice speech about empowerment.
Nice.
To give the ladies that push, because you can talk to women about criminals are out there and they know. I mean, of course they know there are criminals out there. You can tell them about shooting a gun, teaching them how to shoot and all that stuff, and they are like, all right, so they know all that, but there's something that's keeping them from doing it.
Right. Sure. They're hesitating for some reason. Right.
Exactly. So basically that's what
You help them overcome that obstacle that's preventing them from doing that.
Exactly. And and that's why the name of the seminar is Tough Women in Pink.
Tough Women in Pink.
Yes.
I like that.
And ironically is that I don't use anything pink. I don't. I mean, my guns are black. I love my guns the way they are. I don't wear, pink shirts or T-shirts or accessories.
You're a blue-green kind of girl.
Yeah, but you know what? The pink to me kind of reflects, being feminine, being a woman, being sweet, being nice, being gentle.
Right.
But yet you have the tough woman, which is a part of, it's independent, it's strong, don't put limits to yourself. So it's I put both on the table.
It's a good symbolism.
Exactly.
So you can still be feminine, the soft side, but yet there's no reason why you can't be strong, independent, just like you're saying at the same time.
Just be a badass and in pink.
Basically, yeah. One of the things that I sometimes I don't like, I would say I don't like because that's something that everybody can do whatever they want with their life and their attitudes or whatever. But women sometimes think they have to be like a man, to be in a male-dominated sport.
Sure.
And no, I don't think that should be the case. I think you are more respected when you keep who you are and how you are, and men respects you that way.
Well, you've certainly proven that from your time on Top Shot, no doubt.
Even last night, that competition was intense. It's not like you were off or your game was off. He was just a little bit more.
It's any given Sunday,
Yeah,
he just was just on his game a little bit more than you were when it came down to it. But at the beginning of that show, Gabby, I never would have placed you in the elimination round. As quick as the dice game that you guys were doing, unbelievable. You just smoked him.
When we went to the strategy and I was hearing and reading people say, oh, Gabby should have been in the 5th place, 6th place. At that point, perhaps, I could have been in the 5th, shooting for the 5 targets, and I'm pretty sure I would have done great because my concentration goes to a point sometimes beyond my imagination. Sometimes underestimate myself, But
I'm sure you pictured yourself shooting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all by yourself, didn't you? You're like, just let me do it, guys. Sit down. I got this.
but at that level of shooting, I saw everybody so confident. I mean, you have Brian Scenes.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You have Alex who did the axe shot, and he pretty much shot. Remember that challenge? Or he had to shoot and the axe
Had
divide.
to split it, yeah.
And when I said, okay, everybody was doing. I like to be, see how everything goes. And I saw everybody was like, no, I do number 5, I number 6. And I said, okay, I do number 1. There's only one shot. I can't make that up. It's one shot, one hit.
That's all right. And you did.
As much responsibilities I have for number 1 as the number 6. It's funny that when it was my time, and I didn't know who the other team were going to pick to go against me. And they say, Adam. So ironically, I was the smallest person in the house, and Adam was the tallest person in the house. So it was very interesting, and he had a great. It was great. It was a competition within friends.
Now, tell us a little bit behind the scenes last night. What was going on after the dice competition? How did you feel about that? I mean, I know going in the first 3, you thought you guys were probably going to nail it, and then those guys just all of a sudden out of nowhere took it from you. What was the mood like in the house afterwards?
I have to say, every time I go through everything in my life, I have learned that everything happens for a reason, right? But sometimes we as humans, persons, we are very stubborn. We want to go A because I want to go that route and I want to go that route, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes we are stubborn that way. So when I remember, before I go to before I answer your question, when Kelly started asking for people and I saw that he asked for Brian Scenes and he asked for Alex, I said, pick me, please. Kelly, pick me. I swear, I had no doubt whatsoever that was the winning team. I was like, pick me, I want to be in your team. And he actually did. Sometimes I wonder, I'm a religious person, and sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I would have led everything that happens kind of in their course. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I don't know. Perhaps I wanted it so bad that it happened. I don't know if that was my destiny either way. Perhaps it was. But I can remember me being like so stubborn that I wanted to be picked by Kelly. And I was picked by Kelly.
Yeah. Well, and again, through no fault of your own. You held up your end of the team and, you aced your task that you were sent to do.
I had no doubts whatsoever that, I was the first one. I was pretty much opening the show pretty much,
Exactly. Yeah.
And my mindset was not on anybody else, but how my show needed to be done. And I did it exactly how I envisioned.
Right.
Exactly how I envisioned. That's how it happened. Faster than what I thought, actually.
I think everybody thought that was super fast from their reactions. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But, so telling you that, thinking that was the team I thought I was going to win, coming down to proving ground, I was in disbelief. I was like, I wouldn't say in shock, but kinda. Right. It's like I could not believe that was happening. You see, it kind of took me a little bit. Plus, that was a long day. A lot of things going on after the previous challenge with the archery.
Uh-huh. That was cool, too. You bashed up your arm pretty good doing that one, didn't you?
Oh, I sure did. The funny thing is that I don't say bad words. No matter what you try me to say, I don't say bad words. The funny thing is that I'm in practice, right? And you can see that. And I was so frustrated because it did not matter how many times I tried to fix my arm, I kept hitting it that I said a bad word in Spanish. So my friends once they saw that, they were texting me everywhere, Gabby, did you say what I thought you said?
Now, one question I wanted to ask you, when you went to the proving grounds and you shot your shot, it was a little farther off than everybody else. Still better than what Left and I could do.
No
but
doubt.
that look on your face, what was that look? It was like it was part, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. It was part, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. It was like this whole rank of emotions you went through in a split second.
Yes. I'm trying to remember because, as you might know, this happened almost a year ago.
Right.
It helps a lot to see that again, watch the show, and kind of all the memories, all the feelings.
Right.
I had my heart pumping last night, like as if I was there again.
Oh, wow.
I can't even describe how much emotions it was. But I remember I was holding the rifle, and I could see that dog jumping everywhere, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Just squeeze the trigger. And it went off, and I knew it was not going to be a good shot because exactly where my shot break. I'm pretty good calling my shots.
Yeah.
But I can't tell exactly because I don't remember.
So did the trigger pull kind of sneak up on you?
Well, not exactly because it was a little bit high.
Right.
A little high, right? It was more into my position.
Oh, gotcha.
It was more in my position. I don't think I have my elbow very well positioned at one point. I think that's what it was. Like, if I tell you 100% sure, I'll lie to you. Like I said, it happened almost a year ago. But if I'm not mistaken, was that I didn't, I don't know. It was a hard feeling, that knowing that I knew I could make that shot better than what I did.
Right.
But it just didn't show.
Well, like I said in the text, you're always top shot here. Until they do like a media top shot and we get to go on there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
If they ever do something like that, make sure you nominate us.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this competition, Top Shot has been a great thing. Besides anything, personally, has been, have made me grow up mentally so much beyond, even though I consider myself a very strong person, not necessarily a strong woman, a strong person. Top Shot have made me go beyond what I thought it could happen or what I thought I could do. When I accepted coming to this challenge, Top Shot All-Stars, first of all, I was going to be the only woman. And being the only woman in that show, it's a lot of weight on my shoulders. Because if I was sent home first, what everybody was going to say, oh, of course.
Of course, she's the woman. Yeah.
It's obvious. So every time I did something, I knew I had to do my best.
Another thing that I noticed is when they do team picking, you were never the last one picked.
Yeah.
Huh?
I wouldn't say surprised, but I did not know how that was going to happen. I wasn't sure, and yeah, you're right.
It says a lot about the respect that they have for you as well.
Yes, and I appreciate. I worked hard for it. Nobody can tell me, oh yeah, Gabby, because it's an Olympic shooter and all that stuff, but I really worked hard to earn the respect.
There's no question, that that you've got the skills, and what's even better is that those guys recognize that too. And the interviews that they do in between the shots and things like that, all the kudos, and you could see it was genuine respect that they have for you, and that you earn that. That's from your pure skills that you have.
You did an awesome job.
Thank you, guys.
So, since it's your inaugural Gabby on Guns segment for our show, why don't you throw out a good tip for the ladies on crime prevention from your seminar you did last week?
Well, one of the things that women take for granted is their position and their role as, especially when you have your husband or boyfriend. You need to be part of the team. Women expect the man to be the protector. Sure. Women expect the man to be the Superman. And I tell them, hey, the only Superman you're going to watch is the hot guy on the...
Those are usually the ones that crumble
movies.
first.
But your husband is, or your boyfriend, or your dad is not a superhero. You need to come up and start being more aware. Talk to him and work as a team. Like, okay, let's put like a code word together. If I see something, I tell you. If you see something, you tell me what we're gonna do. Let's go back. If I see few guys that I don't like, I tell you, hey, look at that over there. So your husband or your boyfriend is aware. Some women expect him to do everything. Mm-hmm. No, we have to be responsible as well. We have to stop texting on the phone while we're walking or talking on the phone. It's just be aware all the time. No, whether you're by yourself or with your spouse or somebody else.
Awesome.
And especially, and I tell this to Pepper all the time, is when she goes out with her girlfriends, when you're in a group of girls, because they're all usually paying attention to their own little world and not the situation around them. So I always remind her when they go out, is like, pay attention to your surroundings. Be aware, be alert, because I know your girlfriends aren't going to be.
Yeah, and it happens, like you said, when going out with girlfriends, but sometimes women expect the men to be, like I said, the superhero. Women, we have to take that responsibility that we also are part of the team, and if you're a mother, you're also part of the team protecting those kids down,
That's right.
next to you.
Very good point.
Great tip.
Well, Gabby, that was an awesome first segment. We're excited.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on again, and we will talk to you again next month.
Excellent.
Thanks, Gabby.
Thanks.
Thank you.
How cool was that? We got Gabby coming on once a month now, doing Gabby on Guns.
That's awesome.
That was a good little segment.
Would you ever think that we'd be having Gabby Franco on our show 4 months ago? Would you ever thought it?
I would not have thunk it.
She's as sweet as she could be, but at the same time, she's a very focused and determined individual.
And a heck of a shot.
I'm not going to say woman, I mean just person, individual.
Heck of a shot, too.
Yeah, she got robbed on this week's show.
And
Yeah, no spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the talking lead jackwagon of the week, so brace yourself, baby.
So this week, Jackwagon of the Week.
So you've got a pretty good one for us, don't you, Zeke?
Yes, I do. And I think a lot of people have seen this. It's been all over the news. And when I first started watching it, I kind of cringed and I was like, ooh, I felt guilty watching it. But then they interviewed the wife and the husband. It's the guy that brutally, viciously, violently beats the crud out of a woman in front of her, 3-year-old daughter?
Yeah, a baby sitting on the couch.
Throws her against the wall, just continuous punching, puts her in a chokehold, eventually throws her down their basement stairs.
It's just needless beating as well. And he didn't even steal anything, did he?
No, yeah, he got away with like her wedding ring and some jewelry. Part of it, he's the jackwagon of the week. Of course, he's on the jackwagon train.
Yeah.
The other part of it, like Gabby was just saying, women being aware of their environment. I told my wife, as soon as I watched that, I made her watch it, and I said, I want you to have your gun on you at all times in this house. Because this happened at
Or have access to it.
This thing happened at 10:30 a.m.
Yeah. Or just just know where it's at. She could have got up at any time and gone to where it was and dealt with this bozo.
Jackwagon.
But
it just
made no sense.
It was vicious.
He just kept on, and she...
And that goes back to his senseless act of violence.
Well, she was obviously defenseless. I mean, there was nothing she could do, to prevent him from doing whatever he wanted to do. But another thing that amazed me was her resilience, because she kept getting back up.
Yeah, I mean...
I was like, after that first couple of punches, I mean, I would have never got back up. I was, okay, dude.
Yeah, and then kicked her in the head and everything. Yeah, and it goes back to something that we were told in one of our trainings. If you have a gun and you've got your carry permit, always carry that gun. Always. Don't think because you walk in your home, I'll lock it up in the safe. I'm good now. Your front door is not going to protect you.
Have you guys seen that video?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, I posted a link on my Facebook page with a big disclaimer, a big warning for... I got some friends who would not like to see that, so I wouldn't want to freak them out, but that was awful.
It's my understanding they hadn't caught that jackwagon yet either, have they?
I don't think so.
Seriously. No, I haven't seen it. I don't think I want to see it.
It's disturbing, but the couple had a good point. They want everybody to see it. One, because they think they hope they can catch the guy off this, because they got good video of it. It was a nanny cam that caught it.
You see the guy clearly.
But two, they want people to be aware that this surprise attack can happen at any time, and you need to be prepared. I mean, you need to be able to defend yourself in some way. Our opinion, you need to have a firearm.
Well, I think it's a good video for those people who don't believe in carrying, especially in the house, your own domicile.
Yeah.
I think it would definitely wake some people up.
Oh, yeah. Woke me up. I mean, just the surprise factor of it. Just imagine somebody busting in. You don't know what the heck's going on until you're getting beat on the couch. And that was the other thing.
Yeah.
Her 3-year-old daughter is sitting there watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
God, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's beyond. Honestly, being attacked in the house is what worries me the most.
Sure.
Because
Really? It's what worries me the least.
I just think that's where the highest likelihood of me and my family being attacked is.
Yeah, and well,
Why the least, Trevor?
well, because here I'm prepared for it, right? My EDC, well, we'll talk about it later, but it's not a handgun, you know.
No.
But in my home, I have ready access to them.
Right.
Out on the street, I don't. So if there's a group of people on the street in a disparity of force, I'm pretty much hooped. But, you know, I'm prepared for it in my home. I know what room I'm going to be in and where everything is and how to defend it.
Yes.
You mean it's not like Michael Moore says in, what was it, Bowling from Columbine, where all the doors in Canada are unlocked and you can just walk in and say hi to anybody?
A lot. There's more unlocked doors than you would believe.
I will say this. Y'all are some of the nicest people I've ever met. I remember going to Canada for the first time, and I went through a Wendy's drive-thru, and they got the order wrong. They were nice as can be, and then the guy came and gave me the order right, and he was like, "Have a great day. How you doing? How long you in town, eh?" And I was kind of like, okay. Usually the people at Wendy's in America are looking at me like they want me to die.
Well, they were probably dumbfounded by you to begin with. Start off with your accent.
Yeah, that's probably part of it.
Because that's probably why they jacked your order up, so they'd come out and see who and what you were.
They thought I was going to ask if they had a party mouth.
Oh. No, well, I mean, why shouldn't it be that way?
Yep.
And you get that for the most part down here, too, in the South, Tennessee.
But
I was going to say, sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Well, just jumping back, Trevor, to your comment that you're not as worried about it in your house as you are in the street. I look at it like this: if someone comes into my house, I have no control over that, and I got nowhere to go. I'm in my safe space. Yep. If I'm walking down the street and I see a group of thugs or something I think is kind of hanky, I can turn around and I can get out of that situation.
Absolutely.
Well, and another point to that,
Hanky.
if you're out on the street and you're carrying and you see the group, you're more prepared. They don't have the element of surprise on you. If you're just sitting in your house watching TV and you're 5 feet from the front door and all of a sudden it's kicked in and a guy's run at you full speed, you had no clue. And the element of surprise has this huge... I mean, your brain's going to go,
I'm with Trevor,
is this
though.
real?
I mean, I'd much rather somebody try to take me in my house because I know they're going to get dealt with. I mean, even if they get the better of me somehow, I've got another... backup over here, or I got another backup over there. Where,
but think about this: you just laid out the scenario. You're sitting on the sofa watching TV, and someone kicks in your door. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what condition of awareness you're in. That is, you are caught flat-footed and surprised. You're going to have to react to that situation,
and that's the whole point of any kind of what's the word I'm looking for. Anytime you're accosted, I mean, you're not ever expecting it, so you're going to be surprised anywhere. But in your home, and like Trevor says, and you should go over this with your family, your wife, your kids, whoever's going to be living there with you. Somebody breaks into the house. Here's our best course of action. Here's where all our defensive things lie. Obviously, the best thing to do is go out the opposite door if you can and avoid it at all costs. But if you can't, then boom.
Well, it comes back to what Masada Ayub said. And that is, action is always faster than reaction. So know from where the attack is going to come and have a counterattack ready in place.
Yeah, and that counterattack may be getting out of there.
It may be.
Yeah,
if you're in your house, it's really hard to. People say that. Well, if somebody comes in the front door, I'm just going to gather everyone up and get out the back. How do you know there's not someone out there waiting on you?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of the idea of leaving my house if I'm attacked. I'm in my safe zone, my safest possible zone.
Yeah.
So,
well, guys, tell us a little bit about who you are, your shows, how we kind of got connected with you guys. Give us a little background of both of you. We'll go through the big four as soon as y'all tell us about your shows and stuff.
Okay, well, I'm going to go first because Trevor will take forever.
That seems like a recurring theme with you two.
It's just knowing Trevor. It's better not to let him go first.
Okay.
And he'll admit it. He's fine with that.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I was just being polite and letting you go first because it's the Canadian thing to do.
Well, yeah,
It's the Canadian way of life.
You still live in the Maritimes, so you're more polite than I am. I've been corrupted by living in Ontario.
How about you just get on with it?
Okay, I can do that. Okay, so I'm the host of Canadian Service Conditions Radio, and basically we look at the sport of service conditions shooting, which is military style shooting. We actually do shoot with military shooting teams on military bases. It's actually, as far as I know, a uniquely Canadian sport. I don't think there's any other countries where civilians can shoot alongside members of their military with basically the same equipment. We don't get to shoot belt-fed machine guns beside them, but we do get to shoot ARs, which are essentially equivalent to their C7 rifles or their M16s, that sort of thing. And it's a small sport that I think deserves to grow because it is uniquely Canadian, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool to get out and be able to stretch rifles out. Like, we shoot at distances from 10 yards to 500. Actually, if you're shooting precision, we'll shoot back to 800 yards.
So is this like civilian against military? Is that how that works? Or is it just every man for himself?
Well, we actually end up you end up getting grouped in teams of 4 people for an aggregate score. You're just competing for yourself, for your own score. But you do put an aggregate together of 4 people for a team score for a prize, that kind of thing. I don't try and shoot against the military much because they kick our butt. They're really, really good.
Now, was this started by the military or was this a civilian thing?
This really kind of goes back to Confederation. After ourselves and our British friends kicked you guys out in 1812, we decided that this was a way to help keep a militia or the reserve units in our military trained in shooting.
Okay,
that was the whole purpose, and it just sort of continued on. What basically happens is our organization does the organization for the matches, does the registrations, a bunch of the stuff behind the scenes, so that the teams can come out and focus on participation and shooting and really learning how to shoot. The idea with the rifle teams is units will send 4, 8, or 12 guys to act on a rifle team. They develop those skills, and then they take those back to their units.
Gotcha.
To help train everybody else in their units. That's my understanding of it, anyway, from a civilian standpoint. I mean, I don't have any military background. I'm purely a civilian, and so I'm hope I'm getting that basically right, and I'm not going to have some members of the CF coming and yelling at me and saying you're wrong.
Is Tim still on your show? Tim
Foley, yeah.
Yeah. Is he military?
He was in the reserves for, I think, about 5 years, something like that. Yeah. So, which is another side benefit of having him on the show, because he can kind of talk about some of that stuff knowledgeably, which is great.
Yeah, he goes into some good detail on some of the rifles and the shooting that you guys do. Yeah,
he's a rifle nut. He's a rifle nerd, really. Yeah. He is. But he loves his Colts and his high end stuff and his Tavor and all that deal. So Tavor
is awesome. I want one so bad.
Yeah.
All right.
I turned one down.
Yeah, smart.
I had one, or I had an opportunity to get one, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
Some guys really like, they're fine. They work great, but I would just rather have an AR-15.
I would rather have 2 for what those things cost.
Well, what are they going for down there?
This one was offered at
25, wasn't it?
It was like 22 or 2,500.
Yeah, I think it's 25.
Can't remember what it was.
They're about 27 up here, I think, right, Trevor?
Okay, about the same then, yeah.
Now, is that loonies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all get the best names for money up there. Loonies and toonies.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And we have the brightest colored money, too.
Loonies and toonies. You aren't into the Warner Brothers at all, are you?
Yeah.
Because you got Bugs Bunny on your dollar.
So, Trevor, what about your show?
My show is...
Or, Brian, were you finished?
Well, yeah, basically.
Okay. So, Trevor, what about your show?
Thanks for doing that, because otherwise he just would have went on and on.
Unlike you.
That shooting sport is so boring. I was surfing the net, looking at Glocks and stuff. So,
Looking for
Dude,
springs.
you haven't even tried it.
yeah,
Get over yourself.
I will. I will in time.
I can't believe he's not tried it.
I'm one of the 3 hosts of Slam Fire Radio. It's myself, Matthew Warning Shot McClatchy, and Owen the Warrior Flewelling. And we just get together once a week and talk about our brass. The whole premise of the show is that we have a fun, round table type light discussion about firearms and using firearms, and a little bit of competition. Myself, my background with firearms, I grew up in a home with firearms. My father taught me to hunt. I started shooting a gun when I was 5 and never looked back. University, I took some time off. Then once I got out of university, spent quite a bit of time shooting archery competitively.
Is that the University of Canada?
Yeah, we have one. It's in the middle.
You all go to the same university, yeah.
You got more universities per capita than any other country, I think.
Probably. We also have the highest amount of unemployed educated people as well.
Yep.
That would go hand in hand, wouldn't it?
What's that?
I said that would go hand in hand, wouldn't it?
It would, yep. Yeah, we got a...
Who says education's not a business?
Oh, it's a business. Oh, for
There's
sure.
no doubt about it.
So while I was there, I basically didn't get much done. I went deer hunting a couple of times, but then after archery, started buying handguns and haven't looked back. I've been competing for 3 years now, and not only do I shoot handguns, I mean, I shoot everything. I've got a target rifle and a couple of AR-15s and shotguns and hunting guns and all kinds of guns.
You know, we've got this show here. We've got Gabby on the show that it's called Top Shot. Do they have that in Canada?
I've heard of it.
I watched season 3, and I can't seem to find it on National Geographic this year.
Is that what channel it's on?
No, it's History Channel.
Oh, it's history. Sorry, I meant history. Yeah, I was looking.
If you would look on history, you might have a better chance. Stop
No, I
looking on
did look at
National
history, yeah.
Geographic.
Do they have any shows like that in Canada?
Yeah, it's called Top Shot A.
A?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, Top Shot Canada would fly.
Oh, yeah.
It would fly, and there'd be no shortage of people wanting to get on from all walks of life, from military, civilian, law enforcement.
Oh, yeah. If Colby Donaldson was man enough, he'd come up and do a Canadian version.
He's a Texan. He's man enough, dadgummit.
Yeah.
Tell 'em to
I'm
get
sure
up
they
there.
don't discriminate against you guys coming down here and auditioning for the show, you know.
Actually, I think you have to be a U.S. citizen to be on the show.
Do you?
Really? It's probably some of the gun laws or something.
What's that
Well,
matter if they're in the United
No,
States?
was Gabby a
Yeah.
citizen?
Yeah, Gabby's a citizen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Given the state they shoot that in,
Yeah, really.
Actually, we're
California.
a little more free.
Yeah.
California.
So, as you guys know, I think y'all have listened to the show before. I'm not
Once.
sure.
Once or twice.
Okay.
You were?
You guys
We-
have a show?
Yeah.
Are we recording this?
Yes, this is all on air.
Oh, goodness. Oops.
So we've
I
got
didn't fix my hair.
a few questions we ask of every guest. So we'll ask one by one. Each of you take a turn on them. First one: how did you get into firearms originally?
Trevor.
Dad.
Shortest answer ever in the history of Talking Lead.
He kind of already went over that in his
Okay, he's
other.
done. Let him
Dad.
go. You got a short answer out of Trevor. Roll with it.
You just broke a record, Trevor.
Thanks, man.
So you were about 8 years old, right? Is that what I remember?
No, I was 5. There have been firearms in my house as long as I
5.
can remember, and
You never looked back.
I still have a Winchester Model 94 3030. That's the first firearm that I remember as a child. We were in the back. We were in a field on my grandfather's farm, shooting at a deer through the window of a 1976 Super Beetle.
Sweet.
I'm on the ground, covering my ears. I'm 5 years old. This 30-30 sounds like a cannon going off. And I still have that gun. I had it fully restored a couple of years back. I traced the serial number. It's a 1972.
Awesome.
It's beautiful. It has a case-hardened receiver. And I hope to be buried with it someday, or die with it in my hand. whichever
41
comes
years
first.
old. It's a nice piece of weaponry right there.
Yep. So it's a family heirloom as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
Well, that thing's basically brand new. The 3030 I got in the safe, I think, was 1902, 1905, or maybe 1910. I forget. I checked it once, but it's old.
Yeah.
It's older than 1972.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
so that's how it
1972,
started.
that's old because that's older than me. So that's,
That's younger than me.
So that's how I started. And I really got involved in firearms in a big way and the political side of it and the whole gun culture with my introduction to IPSC. And then during the Black Badge course, which you have to take in Canada in order to compete, I met Matthew McClatchy, and I recognized him from his YouTube channel. So he, at that time, was running a blog called Gunning for the Truth, but who reads blogs, right? And he was also one of the hosts on Canadian Reload Radio at the time. So he and I hit it off, and we started traveling to matches together, and he would come up and crash here while we were shooting matches at my local club. And I was a guest on the show enough that when one of the original hosts, or the original guy who started the whole thing, Matt Dixon, when he left the show, I was able to slide into his spot. And then Matthew and I and Andy did Reload Radio together up until about 9 weeks ago or something like that.
Do you mean Mike Dixon?
What did I say?
You said Matt Dixon.
Did I?
I thought you said
Well,
Mike.
That's terrible.
It's that
Mike
accent.
Dixon.
You guys can't even decipher your own accents.
And
Well,
it's funny because he lives in Upper Canada, but he's from the Maritimes.
Yes, I am a Blue Noser. No, I'm just listening to this Matt and Trevor love story, and I'm sort of drifting
jealous.
in and out.
He's getting jealous.
Yeah. He doesn't have any friends like that, right?
No, not me.
So what about you, Brian?
Well, I grew up in an anti-gun household.
No.
Oh yeah, completely. My dad wouldn't let me play with toy guns, or he didn't want to catch me playing with toy guns.
He want to catch you.
Yeah, so
Didn't want to catch playing with a gun.
yeah, so I had innovative ways to hide them and stuff, and just Dad's home, time to go put the guns away because he won't like that. So actually, it was through my wife. Her dad was a hunter and a shooter, and I went out to visit her a few times and started shooting clay birds at the cottage, kind of thing, just some hand trap. So I got him to get me introduced into the sport because it seemed interesting. And then my mother-in-law did me a really big favor because my wife the girl at the time who was to become my wife said, well, there's never going to be guns in my house.
Oh, really?
Oh, and I was just like, really? I'm just starting to like this. What's going on? But my mother-in-law piped up and said, well, dear, you grew up in a house with guns. What's the big deal? And she went, oh, yeah, I guess I did.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
So it kind of went from there, and it just sort of became a hobby that I got into, and I started a job here in Ontario, and one of the guys in the office was a hunter and a senior member of a local club, and so through him I got involved in getting my safety course and getting my license and joining the club, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And I started getting into shooting military surplus rifles, a little bit of shotgun here and there, and then I discovered the local Provincial Rifle Association, which got me introduced to competitive shooting with rifles and that sort of thing, a little bit of handgun, and it just kind of kept growing from there. And now I'm in my own room in the house. When we bought our new house, I made sure that I got one room to myself to put all my guns and reloading equipment in and stuff, and it's all good.
Man cave.
She hates my hobby because it just takes a lot of time, but she understands. So.
Well, she should get involved with it.
She's tried it. I don't know. It's nice to have someone.
It's a give and take kind of thing, Brian. You got to do a little bit of what she likes. She'll do a little bit of what you like.
I can't do yoga. No, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Hey, they say yoga helps with your marksmanship.
I've heard that, but she's actually a yoga instructor now.
I just made that up.
Yoga helps with a lot.
No, I've
of
been
stuff.
told that, but
I think if you integrate the SIRT pistol into your yoga routines,
That's the key.
Downward facing dog with SIRT pistol.
left hand, I would love to do that, except the Canadian gun laws suck so bad that we're not allowed to have a SIRT pistol.
it's not
Because
a gun.
You can't have a SIRT pistol?
Listen, this is how stupid this is. It's considered by the Canadian government to be a replica firearm, so I can't have it.
You know what? We were going to do a little U.S. versus Canada battle about stuff. I think y'all just lost off that
Y'all
law
lost
alone.
that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you can't have toy guns there either?
You can have two toy guns, but I can't have a SIRT pistol.
What's the difference? It's toy guns replicate.
I don't have to understand
Gentlemen.
it. It's a gun law. It doesn't have to make sense.
That's true. Any gun law makes
Most
no
of them
sense.
don't.
No. And that's the one thing that's universal across the globe. Gun laws don't make sense.
Were you finished with...
I think
Do you want to talk about how you got involved with the radio or the podcast?
He did.
You did?
Yeah. Canadian
No.
Service Conditions.
No.
Oh,
that
I
was
got involved in the
Trevor
podcast?
that talked about that.
No, that was Brian.
Trevor and Andrew Craig said, "Stop writing the show. Do your own friggin' podcast." So
basically it. Yeah.
yeah, basically, yeah. So I said, "No, okay."
Yeah, Trevor was Reload Radio. Brian was Canadian Service Conditions.
Yeah.
I know they all sound alike up there.
I know, but he just never mind. If you talked about it, then that's fine. As long as you're
Did you
happy
talk about
with-
it, or am I
Well, I didn't
hallucinating?
talk-
He
about
didn't.
it.
He didn't talk about it.
See?
But I just
thank
summed it
you.
up.
Oh, I thought
Trevor
you.
told.
I thought you
Trevor
talked about
told me to
Canadian
do my
Service
own
Conditions.
podcast.
No.
So I'm doing my own podcast.
Oh, seriously? You didn't
See
talk
what
about
I gotta
Canadian
deal
Service
with, guys?
Conditions Radio?
Well, he
No.
did, but he didn't talk about how he started it.
Oh, but you did talk about it.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah, I
talk
thought
about
so. I was like, wait a minute. I could have
We
sworn he did.
We didn't talk about how it got started.
Yeah, okay.
Pay attention.
How'd your podcast get started, Brian?
it. Here we go.
Trevor
Take two.
Trevor made me do it.
Your answer
Yeah,
got
with
better every
some
time.
encouragement from Trevor, and nice. Is
Yeah.
that the new rape whistle? Is that the newest tool logic comes with a harmonica? Nice. I don't know how to set my phone to voicemail either. So
I don't think he knows how to turn it down either.
I did. I turned it like on below half.
Laugh.
Yeah. Okay, there.
There's
Yeah.
a joke there.
So, second question.
So you're saying Trevor's got a lot of influence in your life?
yeah. Unfortunately,
Not
I did
really.
say that, so I can't really deny it. I can't redact that statement at this time. So yes, you're right. Yes. Far too much.
All right. So on to the second question.
I've totally forgot what the second question was.
Do you have any military? And you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
have kind of talked about that military background.
Law enforcement, military.
Me, no. Trevor, answer for yourself.
No, not law enforcement, not security, but not military or law enforcement.
Anything where you were carrying a gun? Did you get to carry a gun in the security?
No,
Gotcha.
So, were you a rent-a-cop?
pretty much.
Wait a minute. There was no laughter there.
Were you Chris O'Donnell's bodyguard?
Oh no,
Were you a mall cop?
no, I was a hospital cop
Oh,
and a bouncer.
I used to work with those guys. They're usually pretty cool. It would have been awesome if you were a mall cop. Can we just rewind, edit that in? You were a mall cop?
Yeah, I'll refuse to say those.
Trevor
words.
Furlot, mall cop.
Yeah, see,
He was the inspiration for the movie.
Paul Blart.
Paul Blart.
Yeah,
Awesome.
him and I looked much alike.
Third question. In pop culture, whether it's music, movies, video games, books, TV shows, what is your go-to? What's your favorite?
Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns.
Nice.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with those.
Yeah, and John Wayne Week has been on AMC all this week, so I've been getting my John Wayne fix on.
I saw your posting on that.
Make sure everybody knew.
I could tell you were excited about that.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned John Wayne. Can I tell you what I think the difference between John Wayne movies and Clint Eastwood movies are?
Yes, you may.
The good guys in a Clint Eastwood movie are worse than the bad guys in a John Wayne movie.
That's right.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're just as bad, aren't they? Just as seedy.
Yep. Yeah, there's not really good guys in the old Clint Eastwood movies. There's just guys who are a lot less bad, but they're not really good.
Other than that, huge Walking Dead fan.
Awesome.
Sweet.
And I think if that TV series has taught us anything, it's that the Walking Dead need to be feared less than the living.
That's
yeah.
true.
You know, there's another series I just got into. Actually, a listener told me about it, and my wife and I went and got the Blu-rays for it. Have you all seen Falling Skies at all?
No.
It's kind of like it's not kind of like, it's almost identical to The Walking Dead, but with aliens instead. So like aliens invade, it's post-apocalyptic, and everybody's just kind of using whatever guns they can find, and they're pretty accurate with the gun stuff. I mean, there's a couple times where they make these alien loads for guns, but those are weird. But you know, there was even an episode called Mullen Labe. I was like, that's pretty
wow.
cool. Yeah.
Come and get it.
It's got Noah Wiley's the main character. You remember the young guy from ER that was kind of tall?
Just a new show?
Yeah. Well, they just started the third season.
Dude, I never watched ER.
You would love it. It's
You know you were a Clooney
not
fan,
ER,
dude.
but Falling Skies.
Wasn't Clooney on ER?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's where he got his start. No, actually, I take that back. He got his start on Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
He got his start on Laverne and Shirley.
Really?
That was Jay Leno. Never mind.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
They
I
have
thought
the
it was-
same eyebrows.
I thought it was
Yeah,
Attack of
yeah.
the Killer Tomatoes.
Laverne and Shirley. He's not that old.
I just confused Jay Leno with George Clooney.
And we're not editing that out.
That's staying. I'm just editing the out.
It all.
All right, so Walking Dead, John Wayne, and Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And of course,
great mixture.
You know, Apocalypse Now, Platoon, all the and Full Metal Jacket. God, Full Metal Jacket.
Gunny!
I can watch that once a week.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put my nerd on a little bit. I'm a big fan of Firefly too.
Me too, actually.
See, y'all would like Falling Skies. Y'all got to check it out. If you like Walking Dead and you like space stuff, you would like it.
And Battlestar Galactica, the new one. Oh, come on.
See, I never watched it. I've heard they were good.
It's pretty
It
good.
is good. It's good gun stuff too.
Cool.
I just can't get over the fact that Starbuck's a chick, though.
Starbuck's a chick in the new Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
She's
No,
pretty
you
cool,
will.
though.
It's got to be Face from A-Team.
Yeah,
come on.
She's pretty cool.
She does a better job.
Okay.
Is that the actress who lost all the Twitter followers?
Yep.
Oh, with the gun comment?
Yeah.
Same one? She
Yeah,
she
same
made it was a pro gun comment, right?
Yeah, it was. Something
It was
about
actually it was a
control
pro gun safety comment.
Right, like everybody needs to train more or something like that.
Or no, everyone needs to practice gun safety, and then all her anti-gun followers said,
Like
"Oh my
Chuck
God, you didn't
Starbucks
say
said that?
It was like 300,000 or something like that, right?
She lost half of them. Yeah.
Wow.
100. I almost thought I'd finally get a Twitter account just so I could follow her because I thought she was pretty cool. But yeah.
Well, we need to be supporting people like that, though.
Yep.
Interesting. And then the fourth question,
Unless
the
you
new
backtrack.
question, do you have a gun in your arsenal that there's a little bitty part of you that's kind of embarrassed to own it?
You know what you sound like when you ask that question?
What's that?
No, I
You
sold
remember
all
the
my
dating
Cortex.
game? Chuck Woolery?
Do you have a part of you that is a little embarrassed?
When making whoopee to your partner.
Well, actually, no. I sold all my Keltecs, but I am looking at a 1911 chambered in 22 cal. That's a lot embarrassing. It's got 2 strikes going for it.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I thought you already had one, Trevor.
Did you say you were embarrassed about your Keltecs?
No, yeah, well, I sold them all.
Why?
Why?
You'll find out soon enough. You have 2 of them, at least 2 of them.
Yeah, I have at least 2.
They're junk.
More
kind
on the
of
way.
Boys, they're junk. They wear out. I've had the KSG, I've had the SU-16, and I've had a Sub 2000.
But-
and they're all poorly made.
You know,
Cheap
but look at the
quality.
price point.
Price point, yeah.
You're getting what you pay for, but at the same time,
So what happened
it's
with
a
your
lot higher
KSG?
quality than anything else in that price point.
What happened to your KSG?
Well, I just...
Because both of us have been looking at getting
I
one.
remember our email conversations about your KSG.
It wasn't suitable for what I bought it for. I thought it would make a good IPSC gun. Turns out it's actually illegal in IPSC.
Well, that sounds like your fault, not
That's
Keltec's
right.
fault.
That's right. But then I still could have kept it. But there's just too much plastic wrapped around that metal, and what's their word for their plastic? Zytel, I think they're calling their plastic.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Pieces of the not on mine, but pieces of the Picatinny rail underneath the pump are breaking off when people put anything on them. I stripped it apart. Again, it was $1,000 up here at the time. And $1,000 could get you more shotgun than what you got for that, was my opinion. And I think it's going to wear out as well. The guy I sold it to is reporting that it locked up on him so bad once he had to disassemble it to clear it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's
We've
better
had
than that Turkish
different
UTS thing
reports.
that's out there, but it's not worth $1,000.
Maybe they just send you guys the crappy ones.
Now, that being said, I shot an RFB and handled an RFB, and it's almost like the RFB is made by somebody else. It doesn't seem like the same fit, finish, and quality as the other Keltec products.
Interesting.
My Sub 2000, when I locked the bolt back one day and the feed ramp fell out, I'm thinking, all right, that's it, I'm done.
Did
And
you
know what
report
it's-
this to Keltec?
No, I reported it to the Canadian Keltec distributor, and they were quick to send out new parts. But they're cheap firearms. That's all. You're right. They're priced cheap too. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Up here, they're overpriced.
Well, knock on wood, so far so good with mine. I've not had any...
How many
any
rounds
problem.
you got through them?
Oh, I've probably got...
We put a couple hundred in them that one day.
I
At
was gonna say, I've probably got close to 1,000.
Yeah, I was well up over 1,000 in my Sub 2000 when I started to find the slop and the play and the wear in it.
Okay.
I'm
Something to
picturing
look forward to.
I'm picturing
Yeah.
a new YouTube video. We just need to go to town on it one day, see what starts happening to it.
Yeah, we will. I'll
But
put
now-
it through a torture
now-
test. I don't care.
The one that in my collection that I'm a little bit embarrassed of, that's my German Sport Guns GSG 1911 22.
22.
Yeah, it's
CSG.
22. It's 22 and it's 1911, so it's like double.
I bet it has like zero recoil.
Oh, Absolutely. It's a hoot to shoot. It's actually a
A hoot
fantastic.
to shoot. I got a new phrase.
Is that going to trump kettle of fish?
It is a different kettle of fish. There's no
A
question.
hoot to shoot.
It's a hoot to shoot.
Eh?
Tell me about it.
All right, listeners, I want to let you know that we're not being total jerkwads because before we started recording, they were giving us a hard time about Deliverance and our southern accents.
I'm sure there's more to come. So, Brian, what are you ashamed on?
You know, I don't have anything that I'm ashamed of. Anything that I didn't want, I've traded off or sold. So yeah, no.
You never had a gun that you were like, oh gosh, I hope never.
I don't really want to tell anybody I've got this.
You know, no. I've done some stuff I'm embarrassed to my guns, but no, I'm not. I've never
there's
owned
another
a gun
question.
I was ashamed
Okay,
of.
we'll count that. What'd you do that you're embarrassed you did to your gun?
Oh no, I'm not saying it.
Come
Is it
on.
that embarrassing?
Oh, it's bad. No, it's not good. Tell you what, if you have a bunch of squib loads and you lodge a bunch of bullets in the barrel of your really nice revolver, be patient and pay a gunsmith a small amount of money to fix it. Don't be impatient and use power tools. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Oh yeah, no, I screwed up something right good.
So you rethreaded the barrel?
I modified the rifling. Yes.
There you go. Yeah, the rifling.
Yeah, not good.
Funny.
It was a rookie mistake. It was early on in your career.
It's before he
I
met
know,
you,
but-
right, Trevor?
Yep.
But it
I
was a
would have advised
686.
against it.
Oh, it's harsh. Anyway, time heals.
Time heals all wounds. What's the latest on your want list? What's the number one on your want list right now?
I'm stuck somewhere between a kind of sporty tactical 308 rifle like the XCR or the Remington 700 tactical, or a Tika T3 tactical, something like that. I've got a 308 now, but it's not lightweight. So I really,
Sure want to go bolt?
yeah, I definitely want a bolt-action hunting rifle that still has kind of a badass black kind of look to it.
Remington 700. I just got a
Yeah.
7mm rim mag. Love that thing.
Yeah, or
Go
the Glock
Savage.
74.
Just go Savage. Be done with it.
Yeah, could go Savage too. Model 11.
Did you just
Savage
say a
is solid.
Glock?
Glock 34, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's
not a
one of those
rifle.
Building right now.
What?
No, you said
No,
number
I
one
just
on
said
wish
the
list.
next on their want
Oh,
list. It didn't
gotcha.
have to be a rifle. What about
Actually,
you, Brian?
What I've been actually hankering for, and Trevor's going to want to throw up in his mouth about this. I really want to get an Enfield or Webley revolver.
Oh, for the love of Pete!
Is that y'all's god in Canada, Pete?
Yeah, it would have been issued to British or Canadian troops in either of the two world wars, and I just kind of just want to get a little piece of Canadian history in my hands, that kind of thing. So
Can't fault you for that.
yeah. No one asked you, Trevor. You don't have to want it. You don't even have to shoot it.
Trevor,
This is Brian's dream. Don't tread on it, bro.
He's treading on it himself.
Trevor, are you a gun snob?
Well, I tell you, I got no use for guns that have no use.
Trevor doesn't have any appreciation for military surplus firearms. Would that
Yep.
be fair, Trevor?
That would be fair, except for maybe an M14, possibly.
What about the Garands?
Yeah.
Not so much.
Now,
Be a nice
there's
308
something-
for you.
Going back to embarrassment, I'm embarrassed that I sold my Garand. I should have kept that.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed I sold my Colt Python. What are you going to do? We all
You
make
sold a
mistakes.
Colt Python?
dude, that is embarrassing.
See, that's on my want
Especially
list.
a Walking Dead fan.
It was a 8-inch bright nickel.
Oh,
It was rated by a verifier at about 97%.
oh.
And
You hoser.
I bought it for $400 from a widow,
Oh.
but I got over $1,100 for it and a gun.
Still.
I know.
Yeah, I can't fault you for that. The rate of return was amazing.
Yep. Yeah, I got that in GSG 1911.
Wait a minute. You got the 22?
Yeah,
Okay, now
Okay,
I might
now he
fault
faults
you a
you.
little bit. I'll retract that statement.
and $1,130.
Okay, and 30. How did you come up with 30?
Actually, I get questioned about this number. I don't know how we came up with it, but the number was $1,136. $1,136 is what I got paid. With
You, sir, are a barterer. I like you. You're a man after my own heart.
So how about a little U.S. versus Canada stuff here?
All right, we beat you once. You want us to beat you again? That's fine.
Wait, what'd you beat us at? Hockey?
We burned your White House to the ground, but whatever. I mean, who's keeping
Burned your White House.
Yeah, to be fair,
We
Trevor,
have a bigger White
that was
House.
because they burned our Parliament buildings down first. So
Ooh,
never seem
so
to
we
top
got you
with that.
first.
No, we forgot that part, didn't we?
Boom.
Yeah,
We'll let
we
them argue both
relocated
sides.
to the coldest city on the planet and decided that should be our capital.
Wasn't really us so much as it was the British, but whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say dollar and quarter and dime and nickel sounds better than loony and toony.
Well,
I don't know. I'm going to argue
we
that
have all
point.
those too, though, eh?
yeah, it's a nickname. It's not official. There's a loon on it, so people call it the loony.
Oh, it's just a nickname?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought that was really what they were called.
No, dude, there's an
Ah.
image of a loon on it, so they called it the loony. Now,
See,
the toonie makes no
daggone.
sense.
Petunia.
So the toonie, is that a real name?
It's a $2 coin, and it has a polar bear on it. 2 polar bears, right, Brian?
That's right. A mom and her cub.
Right. So apparently, somehow that got called the toonie. Anyway, it's ridiculous, and our money looks like Monopoly money. But now we're making it out of plastic, like the Australians do. Lasts forever. You can crunkle it up.
Great for the environment, too,
Microwave.
making plastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the notes last a lot longer.
Make less.
The beauty thing, though, Trevor, is we can pass off Canadian Tire money as real money to Americans, and they don't know the difference.
I thought we only got away with that in Jamaica.
Oh, no.
No, I've ended up with a
bunch of-
few Canadian quarters and been pissed once I saw them.
You know.
I got some
Uncle's
Canadian
man.
money in Jamaica.
What's that?
When I was in Jamaica
Yep.
and I bought some stuff, they gave me mixed currency, and some of it was Canadian. They were trying to get rid of it.
Now,
I hope none of it had Uncle Sandy on it. Sandy McIntyre.
Nah, I don't know.
For-
I got rid of it.
for the most part, we've got better gun laws.
Depending on the state.
That's why I said for the most part.
All right, let's go with Tennessee.
Well, much better gun laws.
Bam.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Now, what do
Yes,
y'all
yes.
like compared to Chicago? Or is it better?
Oh, no,
Well-
we're better than Chicago.
Okay. All right.
We can actually have guns.
The one thing that will always get beat on, hands down,
Is
there's
bad acidness?
well, no, there's 2 things that are always going to trump us up here in Canada.
What's that?
Well, we have the restricted class and the prohibited class. You guys don't. A gun is a gun is a gun, except unless it's a fully automatic. And many states have concealed carry or open carry, and although it's on the books, it doesn't happen.
Neither concealed or open?
Well, I don't want to spoil my fact fight the myth, so we'll come
Okay.
back to that.
Okay.
All right, we'll come to that one.
All right.
We don't
That's
have
fair.
things like tax stamps. Of course, we'll never get a suppressor, but short-barreled rifles, I mean, whether your AR has a 10-inch barrel or a 7.5-inch barrel or a 24-inch barrel, you're still allowed to have it. The only problem is it's a restricted firearm, which means it's restricted to a gun range. You can only take it from your house to the range. I can take my Robinson Armament XCR on a lobster boat and shoot a seal in the face with it, but I can't take my AR-15 anywhere but the range. Make sense?
No.
No.
In fact, you lost me halfway through it.
No, I understand what you're saying, but that makes no sense.
Right.
What
we
did
can
they
have-
say earlier about gun laws?
They make no
They
sense.
don't have to make sense.
Exactly.
You guys have to pay a tax stamp if you want your AR to have a barrel shorter than 16 or 16 and a half inches.
Right.
We don't. We can have any size barrel on any AR or any shotgun we want, but some of those shotguns and all of those ARs are restricted to a gun range. We can't go hunting with our ARs, but we can go hunting with the XCR, or for now, the Swiss Arms, or
Or a Tavor.
or a Tavor. Yeah, Tavor is completely non-restricted. We can do whatever we want with it. You don't
What?
need any. Yeah. It doesn't. So
What
the
about
other thing that
Full auto.
you
Can
guys, don't have that we have to contend with is, of course, the registry, the long gun portion of the registry. Or sorry, the non-restricted portion of the registry. So guns that are considered by the government to be non-restricted. In other words, you can hunt with them. They're no longer required to be registered. You still need a license to buy them, but once you buy them, there's no record of them, and you can hunt with them. We still have a registration for our restricted and prohibited firearms. So restricted firearms are all handguns that have a barrel longer than 4.2 inches, and certain rifles like AR-15s.
So your Python would have been in that.
A restricted handgun, which means it would have been
Range
restricted
only.
to the range only.
That is weird.
What's weirder, there's certain rifles that are considered prohibited, basically by name. They don't meet any technical standards. They just are prohibited. So the FN-FAL is prohibited. An AK variant of any kind is prohibited. A Thompson, even rifles that were full auto at one point and converted to semi-automatic are prohibited. They can't be shot anywhere in Canada. But a prohibited handgun, well, that's fine to take to the range if you have a license for a prohibited firearm.
Hmm.
So another level of this makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Now, another silly thing. I got a Glock 22 in my hand, but I'll never be allowed to own a Glock 23.
What?
because it's the barrel.
Yep, the barrel is shorter than 4.2 inches, so it falls into the prohibited class. Now,
Gotcha.
there are Canadians that are allowed to have prohibited handguns. They can buy them, sell them, and take them to the range, just like I can take my restricted handguns to the range. I didn't own any of those handguns, a handgun with a barrel shorter than 4.2 inches, back when the law changed, so I didn't get grandfathered in. If I had one before the law changed, I'd be grandfathered in, and I'd be allowed to buy, sell, and compete with them or take them to the range. So some of us can have them and some of us can't.
So when you came down and did the Mag 40 class, were you just like in gun overload? Like you just couldn't believe everything you got to do and see? And
No, because, I mean, pretty much everything I saw there we can have. There's not a lot up here that you guys have that we can't get. But some of what we can get has restrictions on it.
So your rifle barrels have to be 18 inches?
18 and a half to be considered non-restricted. So
In a semi-automatic.
in a semi-automatic,
Okay.
yeah. If it's not a semi-automatic, then they look at the overall length of the firearm. So I can have a shotgun with a 14.5-inch barrel and take it hunting. It doesn't matter, because the overall length of the firearm, as long as it's more than, Brian, 26.5?
26 inches, I think, yeah. 600 millimeters, I think, is the actual number.
our beer's better.
No. No, sorry, wrong. Next question.
Our beer is
Our whiskey's better.
Hey,
Our
buddy,
whiskey is better.
Hey, whoa, slow down. What
Yes.
are you talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
you know what they say about American beer?
Up there?
It's
No,
good.
Anywhere. You know
Okay.
what they say about American beer?
I'm waiting.
Like having sex in a canoe.
What?
Close to water.
Oh, close to water.
I'm going to keep that in. I'll just have to figure out a bleep to make it
All right.
people know what
Just
it is.
bleep that in.
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
660 millimeters, Brian.
There you go.
660 millimeters.
That's the overall length for a firearm before it's considered non-restricted.
Oh, that's right. Y'all are on the metric system.
Yeah,
Which
so it's-
I will give you this, and a lot of people that are going to hear this and go, "What? That's the." Being in the medical field as long as I was, the metric system makes more sense.
It does.
It's simpler.
much.
Like I remember failing all like the conversion charts in junior high math, and then once I learned the metric system, I was like, "It's hundreds, it's thousands, it's millions. It's easy. You just
Look at
add
that.
zeros." And I'm like, "What
Listen.
the? Who came up with our system?"
Zeke, you guys use the metric system when it comes to something that's really important. Money.
Money.
When it comes to
NASA.
money, you guys use the metric system.
And medicine, medicine,
NASA.
Medicine.
NASA, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Military, a lot of ways.
yeah, very true. I think
Mostly calibers for the most part.
well, not calibers, but millimeters, and
Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
So something coming back to the U.S. versus Canada, something else that we don't have is FFL transfers. If I want to order a gun right now on the internet, whether it be a handgun, an AR, or a hunting rifle, bolt action, I just give them my license number, my credit card number, and they will deliver it to my post office or my door.
Oh,
If
wow.
If I want Brian to mail me his pistol right now,
Right.
he'll just make one call to the CFO's office, transfer it to my name, and mail it to me.
That's one up on us in the
Is there
in the
certain-
firearms category.
When you mail firearms, is there a tax or something like that you got to
Nope.
pay additional?
Nope.
Just like
the
just
only
make-
thing,
just like shipping a hat to somebody?
Yep. Well, you mail it.
it's
you mail
easier
It.
than shipping a hat, apparently.
Which apparently I thought it was going to be more expensive. It was pretty darn cheap. It was only like $9 to ship it to Canada.
Well, it all depends on the price of feed for the dogs on the dog sled when they get to the border.
Okay.
Some years cost more than others.
I'm looking up some
All
stats.
weather dependent.
I'm looking up some stats on Canada versus United States. We definitely have you beat on the obesity category easily.
Yeah, I think
We got 33.8%. Y'all have got a measly 24%. Y'all aren't
Yeah.
even
Yeah, but we've
close.
got American bacon and they've got Canadian bacon.
That's true.
American bacon.
No, but they've got, and I may say this wrong and sound perverted. Is it poutine?
Poutine.
Yeah.
Poutine.
Tin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Poutine.
Fries and gravy.
You can get that on a pizza now up here.
Oh,
What kind of gravy?
Yeah, a poutine pizza.
Like white
Disgusting.
gravy?
Oh, I hate white gravy.
Yeah.
It'll
Forget
kill you.
about it.
Eat enough of it, it'll kill you.
And this has made its way down to the South now. When I used to have to go to Canada for work, everybody loved ketchup chips. I'm like, what the heck is ketchup chips? And they're pretty good. And I've seen them in the stores now down here.
Just putting
Personally,
ketchup
not
on
a
your
fan.
chips.
No, it's like chips
Yeah.
that are flavored like ketchup. Like, what in the world?
We had did you guys used to have like fried chicken flavored chips and hot dog flavored chips and stuff like
We
that?
had
We've
hot dog.
started
there's
getting
still
that, yeah.
all kinds of crazy
Hey,
flavored chips.
I remember that when I was a kid, but I don't really go to the local corner store and buy bags of chips anymore. So
I love the kettle cooked jalapenos chips.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Miss Vicky's. That's our brand up here.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are
Okay,
good.
here's some stats I don't get. Y'all smoke us in math performance. You beat us by a little bit in science performance. You beat us by a little bit in reading. But we graduate almost 10% more people through college than you guys do.
Ones that we do graduate actually deserve to graduate, you see.
That's why your educated unemployment rate is higher than ours.
Exactly.
Oh.
Is that why?
yeah.
The other thing we can do with guns that some states certainly cannot do, you can walk into a gun shop, flash your license, and walk out with a gun of any kind on the spot. Yeah, whatever it is, you can take it home that day.
Any kind that's legal. Any kind
wait a
that's
minute,
legal
Trevor, wait.
in your country.
Go ahead, Brian.
Wait a minute though, but if you're buying a restricted firearm, that may not be the case.
Well, it is here.
Well, not in Ontario, it's not.
Well, the law says it is, but your CFO is slow.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Legally,
right,
it's not an legally it's not a problem. We are legally allowed to walk in and walk out, but
Right.
the provincial CFO's office in one province may be slower than the other. But legally,
We can do that here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
You don't
walk
have-
in. They do the they run the background check, and then you can walk out with it that same day within minutes.
So
I
explain.
think there's some states that have like a mandatory 3-day waiting period, right?
There
Yeah.
there are some, but for the most part,
Okay.
And I'm
Left
going
hand.
by Tennessee. We'll walk in, we buy it, we walk out.
Now, let's talk about that background check for a second. When
Sure.
we become a licensed gun owner in Canada, or when we get a gun license, we either take a course or write a test, and they give us a license. Now, to get that license, we have to fill out an application that proves that we're not a felon.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounding the same here.
All right. Now, well, that's for your CCW. We need a license to buy a gun. Remember, you don't need a license to buy a gun. You need a license to carry a gun.
True. Okay.
Now, once we have that license, our names are checked all the time to see if we've committed a crime. And if we have, then they'll come take our guns away. Or if they don't even, or if that doesn't happen, if they don't catch it that way, if I commit a crime, if I go slap my wife around tonight, there's a very good chance I'm going to have my guns taken away for a short period of time, maybe forever, depending on what province I'm in. So, when I go buy a gun, they don't do a background check on me because my license is my background check. All they do is call the CFO's office if it's a restricted firearm and say, okay, we got to transfer it to this guy, and they say, okay, done. If it's a deer rifle, I just show them my license and I walk out. No background check required. What was the deal with the universal background check? What would that have actually meant for American citizens?
What everybody was worried about is it would end up turning into a registration, which basically that's what they were creating.
Gotcha.
Is
Yeah,
if it was a
database.
universal background check. See, right now, as they do background checks at FFLs, they just take that check and they store it.
See, that-
and they don't. The government doesn't have immediate access to it.
Exactly like you're saying right now with your license, our background check, every time you buy a gun, that's them checking to see if you've done any felonies or anything. Yeah, every time.
And that's actually more effective than our system.
Right.
Because if I lose my gun license, they don't actually seize the little plastic card with my picture on it. They just null and void it in the office. So if I meet Brian in a parking lot of a Walmart and I say I want to buy your shotgun, he says, "Well, let me see your license." I show it to him. He could do some due diligence and call my number in to see if it's fully current.
But
he does
would he?
not actually required by law to do that. He just needs
Right.
to see the license. So I could be carrying an expired license and he wouldn't know unless he took the trouble to call it in.
Because I am a law-abiding citizen, I am going to call it in, especially for you, Trevor.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know that urine samples and Canadian beer have in common?
Oh,
They
this
both
is
have
gonna
alcohol in them.
The taste.
Oh,
Oh,
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
I found
ouch.
another. Hey, Trevor, you're from Nova Scotia, right?
no, New Brunswick. He's from Nova Scotia.
Oh, okay. Then Brian will like this better. Did you hear about the war between Newfoundland and Nova Scotia?
Yes, I have heard this one, but tell it.
The Newfies were lobbing hand grenades at Nova Scotia, and the Nova Scotians were pulling the pins and throwing them back.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that joke. Love
Yeah.
it.
That's a classic one up here.
Yeah, we do pick on the Newfoundlanders, but really they're awesome people. They're great.
Yeah.
They are the friendliest of us, I think, and
And
they
they
have the
also-
best accent.
I've got another statistic for you. They have more sex than anybody else in Canada, which explains why they're so friendly, right? They're just trying to get on you.
Yeah,
Just trying to get with you.
Yeah,
yeah. There's not a lot to do in Newfoundland, so hence
exactly. Got to stay
as
warm.
well.
There you go.
Yep, works for me.
Now, y'all, wait a minute. I just looked this up, and I was going to be proud and brag about it, but I think I was wrong. Is it a Canadian military guy that has the longest sniper shot?
It was.
It was for a while.
It was.
Well, wait,
Rob
did we get it back?
Furlong. It was Rob Furlong. Now
Right.
he was. It went. That record fell 2 years ago, Brian?
Something like that. I think. What is it? A British guy? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Americans still don't have it.
Dadgummit.
But
It's all right. We'll get it back. No
Rob
worry.
did it with American Ammo.
We're just waiting
There
to
you go.
get a
We
little
got
further.
we got part of it. He said he did
We're
it
just
with
waiting until they
American
get a
ammo.
little further out. Give us a challenge to beat. you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, he used American ammo that he heated up in the sun to
Make work.
well, no, to actually try and gain some pressure and some velocity. I watched an interview with him. Yeah.
Yep. So this guy is now teaching sniper training to civilians here in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Interesting.
I wouldn't say sniper training. I think he's doing
Target
precision shooting training. Yeah.
Right. That's it. Sorry, I forgot I wasn't being very PC there.
Well,
Because we're all about being PC on this
Exactly.
show.
That's what he's doing.
the whole idea of somebody who has a precision rifle with a scope on it being a sniper, it's not the case. They're a rifleman. Being a sniper is a completely different kettle of fish. And
Nice.
and I've read enough books about being a sniper, knowing I do not have what it takes to do that. To actually
We're going
be
to
a
find
sniper.
out hopefully soon enough whether we do. We've got a class coming up.
Yeah, October.
But that's going to be a shooting class, right?
Yeah, sniper snooting? Sniper
snooting?
shooting class.
Sniper
Yeah.
Toony Tunes.
Yeah. Again, that's not being a sniper. It's shooting like a sniper. It's not being a sniper. It's all
That's
the
right.
other all the dirty, nasty stuff. Read books about Carlos Hathcock and
Oh, I
what he
have.
had to do.
Yeah.
That's
Wasn't he the
some pretty
rooster?
Crazy.
Wasn't that the rooster?
No, white feather.
It's close. Rooster, white feather.
No.
His feathers.
I thought that was the guy that the rooster song's about. That
May have been.
I don't know.
I think that was Carlos. Yeah.
Could be.
So who won the war?
Between.
Your beer sucks and some of our gun laws are better. So we'll call it a tie.
No. 4th of July is
wait.
coming up next week.
Whose gun laws are better?
fired up.
Said some of ours are better.
And
I think the majority of
overall, no. The majority of ours are. I mean, if you take our pro
Trevor
gun
said
states,
some. Trevor didn't say the majority. He said
Hey,
some.
a question for you. Where we're sitting right now in the state and town we're living in, if we wanted to and paid the tax stamp, we could go have a minigun. Can you do that?
And paid the tax stamp.
yeah. So
Can
what's
you
wrong
do
with
that?
that? What's wrong with paying a tax stamp?
You help me out here, Brian.
Plus,
I'm
we
sorry,
can
Trevor,
we
they
can put
win.
a suppressor on it too.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
we can
sorry, no,
suppress
they
the
win.
minigun if that's possible.
Suppress it.
I don't think that is possible. Actually,
Oh, I just thought of a
I don't know.
$1 million
AAC
idea.
can get it done. If they put a suppressor on, what was that gun he
On
had
each
suppressed?
barrel. Oh, that
That chain
Was it a saw?
belt fed.
Squirrel, eh, Brian?
yeah, huh? It's almost like I'm listening to Slamfire Radio.
Almost.
squirrel. The ADD is coming out. It's time for facts to fight the myth. So you
And-
guys are our guests. Go for it.
Okay, this is a myth that I have heard from some Americans. There is a myth that Canadians don't like guns, and that is just wrong. There are how many license holders in Canada right now, Trevor? To the best of your knowledge, I think 1.9 million or something.
Yeah, out of 33 or 34 million.
That's
Almost.
the number of license holders.
No, out of the entire country, out of a population of 34 million, roughly, approximately 2 million hold firearms licenses, and there's probably another a half a million guns out there that are being held by old timers who just never bothered to get a license. There's a lot of.
Is that legal though? Are they legally holding those weapons?
Oh no.
Yeah, in Canada, if you don't have a gun license, it's a crime to hold a gun in your possession.
Yep.
Whether it's in your domicile or in public or anywhere, right?
Cannot own a gun without a gun license.
Gotcha.
Actually, the way the law reads in Canada, it is illegal, period, to own a firearm. But you get a firearms license and you get basically a stay of that. You get a get out of jail free card.
That's where our laws are better too, because you don't have to have a license or a carry permit to own a gun.
Exactly.
Yep.
Here in the United States.
Yeah, I can't lend my neighbor a gun to shoot a groundhog in his backyard unless I'm there with him and he's under my direct supervision.
Wow.
But that's because your neighbor doesn't have a firearms license.
That's right. If you don't have a firearms license, you cannot be in possession of a gun. That being said, yeah, we are a gun-loving country. Always have been. They've tried to beat it out of us for a while. They made guns a dirty word. They made it politically unacceptable to be a gun owner. Back in the mid-90s, they really made guns a dirty word in Canada.
You didn't back down like the Brits did.
That's right. We pushed back so hard that we actually had the long gun registry killed.
That's right. And as of today, it's our understanding it's actually killed right across the country. The lone holdout province lost their bid to retain the long gun registry information.
And they have since launched an appeal.
Yes. Well, that's what they're going to do, but...
Yeah. But, so when the long gun registry fell, the province that was probably most responsible for its creation in the first place launched a lawsuit against the federal government for a stay. In other words, making it impossible for them to destroy the data for that province. And they won that stay. So when the federal government went through and it came time to destroy all the data, they had to separate all the Quebec data and maintain it until the court challenge was heard. So the challenge was heard in court and they lost. But now they still won't be able to destroy the data because they're appealing, but they won't win that appeal because it's going to go to the Federal Supreme Court of Canada, and it's the federal government who killed this thing in the first place.
So what's your fact to fight the myth, Trevor?
Canadians cannot carry concealed. In fact, we have in Canada, it's not called CCW, it's called ATC. And that stands for Authorization to Carry. It does exist. We are a may issue country, not a shall issue country. There's ATC 3, so a Type 3 ATC, which is nearly impossible to attain, is a concealed carry permit. And those are handed out by the individual province's chief firearms officers. So every province has a chief firearms office, and the chief firearms officer oversees the implementation of the Federal Firearms Act, which is the law that governs the ownership and use of firearms across the country. The other type is ATC-2, and ATC-2 is a wilderness protection open carry. And so these are given out a heck of a lot more than ATC-3, and people that would qualify for these would be people that would be working in the high north, where they're working in, let's say, the seismic industry, and their hands are full, and they're working around grizzly bears, mountain lions. They're far from civilization, and carrying a firearm is the only logical means of protection for them, because slinging a rifle or a shotgun all day is just not practical with the type of work that they do. We've had a listener write in our show to tell us that he has one. He does work in that industry, and he does do... He does carry a Glock 20 in 10 millimeter, actually. So, in Brian's province, actually, it has a population. How many people in
13 million, I think. Yeah,
13 million. There are 13 ATC 3s actively issued right now, according to these statistics.
And are two of those on this end of the mic?
No.
Sadly, no.
No, Trevor, you talked about ACT 3
ATC.
and 2.
ATC.
ATC, thank you. I can't speak anymore. It's Jack Daniels.
Tennessee whiskey, hey.
It'll have that effect on you. There's also another form of ATC that you can get if you are a trapper. So if you are checking your trap lines, you are allowed to get a permit to carry a .22 caliber handgun for dispatching game that's caught in the trap but not dead yet. How lame is that?
That's pretty lame.
Yeah, it's pretty weak.
And there's another trapper's license as well that lets you carry a firearm during different times of the year, where generally you wouldn't be able to unless you had a hunting license. And anyway, so
and trappers are really important to you guys because y'all all wear furs and live in igloos, right?
Mm-hmm. The fur trade industry up here is as strong as ever, along with walrus blubber oil.
Gotcha. Okay.
Actually, Trevor, I don't think you can actually say that. The fur trade up here used to be actually really, really important. Anyway.
You see, Brian, that's what we call a joke.
Well, still. But you got to remember,
I was trying to figure out where the joke ended and somebody got serious. I was like, what's going on here?
You got to remember, I live in Ontario. At one time, I think most of this province was owned by a private British company.
That's right.
For fur trading. So,
wow.
Yep.
It's weird. We have a very different history than the Americans. Very different.
Indeed.
We became a country.
We gained our independence by asking for it.
Yeah. Basically, we were a teenager when we finally said, Mom, Dad, we're leaving the house.
See, now there's less badass points for Canada. Sorry.
Hey, don't do dumb things in dumb places with dumb people, right? We avoided the conflict.
So, Left Hand, what's your fact to fight the myth?
I'm going to go a little curveball here, and I'm going to do a knife myth.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm patiently waiting.
Because I'm not. You can pull a gun and shoot a knife attacker before he can kill you if he's at least 20 feet away. Do you believe that?
No.
Nope. I've seen how quick you can get across a room with a knife.
That's right. Action is faster than reaction.
Exactly. And if you're holstered and you've got a draw or you've got it concealed and you've got to pull your clothes up and away and do all that, I mean, he's probably closed the distance more than halfway by that point, and then trying to get a headshot, or if he's got a bulletproof vest on and you do happen to get a shot off, he's still going to come at you and get you in the throat and kill you.
Yep.
Now, conversely, if someone draws a gun on you from 20 feet away and you have to pull your pocket knife out of your pocket and charge at him, you're probably done. You're probably not going to make it.
Unless you got a vest on.
Yeah.
And he's not a trained headshot.
Even with a vest on, I don't want to get shot. Yeah. That was one of the things that annoyed me about Bob Costas after the Colorado movie theater shooting. And he was saying, oh, yeah, people said if they'd had a gun, they'd been able to shoot the guy and stop it. He was wearing a body armor. Yeah. So you shoot a guy with body armor, he stops
absolutely.
what he's doing to assess the situation. It freaking hurts.
If he can even do that. Sometimes you get hit with body armor and you're out. You're knocked out.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Bob Costas, so
Hey, let him
he's
do
a good
sports.
sportscaster.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Bob Costas.
necessarily know about
Stick to
stuff he was talking
sports.
about there.
So, Gabby, now what's your fact to fight the myth this week?
Okay, well, the myth is that most people, when they're aiming and they're shooting, they're waiting for the gun to stop moving. They expecting the perfect moment for the gun to doesn't move for them to make a perfect shot.
Right.
But reality is that the firearm will never stop moving. And one fact is that you have a heart. Your heart won't stop pumping blood, and that
could be debatable on some people, Gabby.
Zombies.
Zombies, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
So,
I was thinking about some people in our current administration, but no, go ahead.
So anyway, next time you go to the range, don't try the gun to stop. Or better yet, learn to shoot with that movement. The better you get to know yourself and understand that's a constant, your shooting will be a lot better.
Awesome.
That's something I need to take to heart. No pun intended.
Well, I've got two myths.
Neither here nor there.
Two myths, in fact, to fight them, yeah. One of them is actually going to be a little shout-out
didn't
to
have one a second ago.
Our Canadian brothers. I found them quick.
Okay.
Actually, one of them I just needed to look up the stats for because I've been hearing a lot of, the last week I had another headline that I heard in the news. I heard another one this week, and I wanted to get the stats. And it was talking, there was like 2 kids in the last month that had been accidentally shot by their parents' firearms. The newscasters continuously say accidental gun fatalities are a extremely serious problem in the United States and are on the rise. talking about the serious problem comment, firearms misuse and accidental discharges cause only a small number of accidental deaths in the United States. And for example, you're 5 times more likely to burn to death than to be accidentally shot with a firearm. You're 5 times more likely to drown. You're 17 times more likely to be poisoned, 17 times more likely to fall to your death, and 68 times more likely to die in an automobile accident.
You probably could have read that easier if it was in metric.
Probably. Yeah, if it was in metric, I probably could have done it better. So, I mean, yeah, we do need to be safer with our firearms, and people do need to educate themselves better on them. But at the same time, it's not this mass hysteria outbreak
or our tip of the week, which is train.
And you'll see that video this week.
Spoiler alert.
My Canadian one. Did you know that in college for one summer I actually played the Canadian national sport?
Lacrosse? Why?
Really?
Well, see, thanks. He'd ruined my fact to fight the myth. Everybody thinks the Canadian national sport is hockey, and it's not. It's lacrosse.
They like long, hard sticks and a sack attached to the end of it.
Everybody who doesn't play lacrosse also thinks that Canada's national sport is hockey. I don't know who I'm not sure what committee that was, but
lacrosse is a fun sport, and it's kind of brutal if you're.
It actually looks pretty dangerous.
Yeah. I was like like in hockey, they always have a goon. He's not necessarily a great hockey player, but he's put out there to beat the crap out of people. That's
There's
what
a
my
movie
job
called
was.
The Goon.
Yeah,
nice.
That was my job in lacrosse. I went out there and everybody. I'm 6'7". There's no one on any lacrosse team that we played that was over 5'6", 5'7". And they were all speed demons. So the coach was like, if you see anybody and they're within a 5-foot radius of the ball, you just knock the crap out of them. So that was my job.
Oh, by the way, we've got a new listener.
Uh-huh.
I met him the other night.
Uh-huh.
6'10".
Really?
Yeah, bigger than you. I mean, as far as bigness, broadness, and whatnot. No, he just like...
Spencer from Smyrna?
Is who?
Spencer from Smyrna?
No, his first name's Adam, and I'm not going to say his last name because he probably don't want to know. Wants to say it, but he was a cool guy, and welcome to the Leadhead Club. Leadhead Nation? I like that, yeah.
Leadhead fraternity.
There you go.
There you go. Nice.
So are y'all like really lead heads, or you just blow smoke on Facebook to us?
No, we've been listening since Brian started. I got in probably by episode 3, and I've been listening ever since. I fell behind a little bit recently, but no, definitely lead heads. And the comment I made about your show on our last show was that if there was an award for best new podcast on the scene, it should go to you guys hands down. You guys hit the podcasting running. No, seriously. You guys got real serious, real fast out of the gate and have been doing everything right. The production value until tonight with us has been excellent.
Yeah, no kidding. You guys are slumming tonight.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the time right now, and we're at 1:36 plus Gabby segments about 20 minutes.
This will be our longest show
This will be
ever.
the longest show ever.
Yeah.
This is going to be our most popular show.
You guys are doing an absolute fantastic job.
Well, thanks, man.
It seems like you guys didn't go through any growing pains. Right off the bat, you guys are really serious, right down to the equipment that you use to produce your show. You got on board with all the media, like all the forms of social media right away. Your YouTube channel is going great. I always look forward to seeing your videos. So, we are definitely hardcore leadheads up here.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
I checked out your first episode.
I'm blushing.
I checked out your first episode, and I think as soon as I was done, I was on my BlackBerry to Trevor to say, dude, you got to check these guys out.
After the first that first one?
Yeah.
The one where you could barely hear left hand?
That's probably
It
what
was
made
like
it
I was
so
talking.
good.
It was like I was talking
bad
to.
thing.
You got to listen to these guys. This guy's alone, but he's like talking to an imaginary friend.
All right, so
it was all
you did have a little bit of growing pains.
No, we appreciate that. Those are very kind words. We like your shows too. We listen to both of them.
No, man, I listen to you. I listen, especially when you talk about ARs, which you do most of the time, because I'm real big into ARs, and one day we'll talk about them on here. Yeah, I get a lot of good information from you guys. Really enjoy it.
Well, let's give a shout out. We're going to start doing a lot of work with some very special organizations. We've gotten connected with some friends of the show. We got connected with the Green Beret Foundation, also the SEAL Legacy Foundation, and Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, which we discussed in a couple episodes ago.
Episode?
Yeah.
I believe it was.
No, yeah, 2 episodes ago.
Let's give their info.
Yeah, just go to fallenheroesfund.com. It's a very, very good organization. They're putting together buildings for the troops that are coming back and they have traumatic brain injuries, PTSD. Right now, if they go to the VA, they'll basically get put into the shuffle with everybody else. Sometimes when they get into the VA, it can take years. I'll give an example, and this is one of the reasons this is kind of near and dear to my heart. My dad was in Vietnam. He got diagnosed with PTSD 2 years ago. That's how long it took them to figure out, okay, there's some issues here.
Yeah.
The young man, one of the things they talked about at the fundraiser, the young man that going through trial right now for basically murdering a bunch of Afghani people that were innocent civilians. I think it was a few months before he got deployed, went to the VA and said, I need help. I'm having bad thoughts. Nothing got done. He got deployed. Am I saying that what he did was justified? No, I'm not saying that, but it could have been prevented if we did something. And that's what Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund is doing. They're putting together just massive multi-million-dollar buildings, the top-of-the-line brain scan equipment, top-of-the-line psychiatrists, psychologists, and if you're in the military and you walk in there, or if you're a veteran and you walk in there and you say, hey, I'm having some issues, you're going to get seen right away. And they're going to take care of you. So it's a really good program.
And that website is?
fallenheroesfund.org.
So guys, go check that out if you want to learn more about them.
And check out Green Beret Foundation and the SEAL Legacy Foundation. We got connected with them. We're going to be doing some really special stuff in the next coming months.
Great group of guys there also.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the hats too, guys.
Yes, we got some cool SEAL Legacy hats. In fact, the winner of this week or last week's trivia is going to get one of those SEAL Legacy hats. And that winner is
quicker than Brian. Going to get his
don't
hat.
Believe him, guys. Don't believe that they're going to send your hat.
In 6 to 8 weeks.
When you get your hat, I want it posted on your Facebook page.
Everywhere. The winner...
You can probably hook that up, yeah.
So the winner of last week's trivia, who is going to get that SEAL Legacy Foundation hat, is Robbie Lee Ray. So, Robbie, please email us your contact information.
And
where to
the
ship
trivia
that.
question was...
The trivia question was, what was the real name of the skipper and the professor on Gilligan's Island?
There you go.
The new survivalist show.
It's not the new, it's the original. It was the original survival show that started all the trends today. Without Gilligan's Island, we don't have Survivor. Is that what it's called? Survivor or Survivor Island?
I think it's Survivor.
The guy with Jeff Probst. Yeah.
I think we lost the Canadians.
No, they're there. They're still there playing with their guns. By the way, what gun is that you're playing with?
Oh, this would be the 45.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And the answer is Jonas Grumby, not Grumbly, as somebody sent in. It's Jonas Grumby and Roy Hinckley.
Nice.
The professor.
I did not know that. I do now.
The very first episode.
And that will help me in my survival skills.
If you watch the very first episode of Gilligan's Island.
They talk about it?
That's where they give their names.
Oh, nice.
On the radio there when they're doing the announcement that they're looking for the lost crew of the Minnow and blah, blah, blah.
This week's trivia question is going to be a very, very cool prize.
Yes.
As you heard on Gabby on Guns, she released a book. Last week, was it?
It was
2 weeks ago?
about 2 weeks ago. She finally got her book together. She got it released. And this week's winner is going to win a copy of her first in the series of books that she's going to be doing.
But not just any copy.
It's going to be an autographed copy.
To the winner.
To the winner. It's going to have your name.
From
Gabby.
To you.
And it's the troubleshooting.
And now that these Canucks have been on our show, they're not eligible anymore, are they?
Absolutely they are.
Oh, you guys are much kinder than politics and guns, right, Brian?
Oh, yeah. And they haven't ragged on me yet for winning stuff. So this is good.
No, we're not a conglomerate here. So the only people that can't win is me and Zeke. So,
or our family members.
Everybody else is eligible to win.
Hurry up and give me the question so I can write it down and research.
So if you go to YouTube and you look up Gabby Franco's channel, it's just Gabby Franco, and you go to the video where she's talking about the Glock 17 that was customized by Taran Butler, What are the type of sights that he put on that Glock 17?
I know it. I watched the video.
Already? Wow.
Okay, so you're disqualified.
You can't answer on the show. It's got to be a drawing.
I was watching her channel last night.
And plus, this isn't going to be posted until tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Yeah,
so for this one episode, you're disqualified.
Yeah. So that is the question, and send in your answers. We'll put it in a drawing, and the winner will be announced next week, and you will get an autographed copy of Gabby Franco's book sent to you from her.
EDC check.
Ah, he got us.
We got called out by a Canuck.
We did. We just got called out. All right, since you called us out, what do you got?
Well, I wish I could say my Glock 22, but that's just for EDC in the house. My Kershaw Clash is definitely part of my EDC.
And that's your knife?
Yes, sir.
Describe that.
Fastest opening assist knife I've got my hands on so far.
Well, how long's the blade?
Just about 4 inches, but not quite.
Do you guys have limits on blade lengths and whatnot for you to be able to carry? Cool. That's one thing you got to speed on.
USA still wins.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, that knife is the only thing that, yeah, sure, cell phone. I don't even have any paracord bracelets. It's, yeah.
Not your kettle of fish?
Nope, I don't even carry a flashlight. No, just shoot through the door with a shotgun. That's what Uncle Biden said to do, right?
No, shoot in the air.
No, you shoot in the air.
Oh, I thought you shot through the door.
No, you don't
shoot
even
in there.
You shoot 2 shots in the air and a double barrel shotgun,
and everybody runs away.
That's going to scare them away, guaranteed.
Right.
Actually, Biden said both, I think.
Nah, he didn't.
Didn't he?
I think he did when he came. When he tried to apologize, I think he said something about shooting.
Nah, he's a jackwagon. He didn't do it.
You're right.
Before we get into that, we should say hello to our friends at the NSA. Who are listening in as we speak.
See, and that's not fair because our lead heads don't even get to hear it before the NSA does. They probably already they're hearing this whole episode before.
I think
our lead heads.
The people that answer our trivia questions are part of the NSA.
Might be.
Except for Brian.
If you start getting responses like as soon as you stop recording, that might be the NSA.
We got to give away a gift that's so cool.
The NSA will be like, dude, I'm going to answer that.
I know that answer.
So I guess it's my turn for the EDC.
It's your turn.
I'm a little ahead of Trevor, but not much. I do have my CRKT M16 knife that is with me every day, and recently I added a miniature flashlight. It's a Maratac AAA flashlight. Gives me 80 lumens in a flashlight that's smaller than my finger.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. And I carry it all in my brand new Concealment Solutions inside the waistband knife sheath, custom made.
I've heard good things about them.
Yeah, all I carry is Jason's stuff, from mag pouches to his inside the waistband and his outside the waistband stuff.
So seriously, you guys can't carry guns?
Not outside the house, no.
You get your trunk gun and stuff, but we don't get to carry a handgun on our person.
What's your everyday trunk gun?
XTR.
Yeah.
I don't really have a trunk, so I don't.
You ever got a motorcycle?
No, and I go to
moped.
some areas where it could be a bit of an issue. Every once in a while, I do work on professional work on military bases, and I do some work currently for the provincial police and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't carry a gun in my vehicle at all times.
Focus.
All right, guys, don't cry. Okay, bam.
They can't see it there, Hoss.
I know.
Let me guess. Glock 22 on your waist and something on your ankle.
Negative.
No.
I got shorts on today. Today I'm packing the Remington R1 45 Auto.
Giddy up.
With some new grips. I got the Hogue with the finger groove flat dark earth grips.
Is it at least the R1 enhanced?
Well,
He's enhanced it.
I've enhanced it a little bit, but it's not the from the factory enhanced.
Okay, so it's like a Rock River Arms or Rock Island Armory, basically.
So better.
Okay.
Because I own it.
Oh,
And I just got a sporting the Blackhawk Sportster, not the Serpa. I'm going to get a Serpa. And then I've got my Tool Logic. Not going to go into all that. You guys know it. And
Please don't blow the whistle.
I'm
Please
not.
don't.
I've got the Cold Steel. We've already talked about this with Gabby, so I've got the Cold Steel double
Neck
agent
knife.
neck knife, And then in my bag, which is the Maxpedition, I was away from the mic there. In my bag, I've got the Maxpedition Condor 2 bag, and in the concealed carry pouch in that, I've got the Glock 23 with the 120 lumen light.
Yeah, and we kind of doubled up on this week's EDC because we just wanted to make the Canadians jealous. So I'm carrying not only my Glock 19, I also, on the other side, put my Smith & Wesson 1911. I have got an ankle carry of my Taurus 357 Snubby. I've got 2 pocket knives, which y'all can have those. And then I've got a rifle sitting next to me.
And there's a
That's not an
Mossberg.
EDC, though. Come on.
Okay, the guns are. I've carried 3 guns before.
Yeah, Masada Yub was teaching Mag 40 with a Glock 26 on each kidney and a 38 special revolver in his pocket.
That's awesome. Listener feedback. We've got some good listener feedback this week. One of them is on our website.
And
And
we kind of overlooked that. We need to start doing more to our website.
so I go on the last podcast, and there's one comment, and it was awesome. It said, left hand says Gilligan's Island is a survivalist show. Priceless.
I said it was the original
Yes.
survivalist show.
And that's from MKH374. So this next listener feedback is from iTunes. And I'm going to do a little something special for this one. I'm going to start a little music because this guy said he's going to be listening to us at a very special time in his life. And he says, ooh, there's the music. It's good stuff.
You lying here next to me.
He says ear candy, 5 stars. And this is from Mr. Silky Sheets. He says, I feel like a Piers Morgan for not leaving a review sooner. This is my favorite podcast by far. Y'all are quite the duo, like Lucy and Ethel. Now,
Who's Lucy and who's Ethel?
I don't know.
I love you, baby.
Now, Mr. Silky Sheets, this is the part why you got the sexy music playing in the background. My beautiful wife, on June 29th, Angel and myself will be listening to your shows on our honeymoon drive for sure. So, Mr. Silky Sheets, I'm playing this music to get you a little honeymoon drive theme song.
Get you some, boy.
Because I just have never imagined that, Talking Lead would be, something to get somebody in their honeymoon mood. So
Right there.
thanks for the podcast. Congratulations to both of you. I hope you'll have an awesome honeymoon and an awesome marriage. Then he goes on to say, I hope you two guys will one day be able to do what you love for a living. That is our goal. We're working toward it. Then we got another quick one. It says, great show, 5 stars by Sweet Sweat.
Sweet Sweat. Man,
I should have left the sexy music on for this one.
Yeah.
Sweet Sweat. He just said, keep up the good work. That's it.
All right, we got one here. It says, hey, guys, Ian from Australia again. He's left us some feedback before. He just specifically, he said, I just listened to your Guns Across the Border podcast. That was the one with Mike Deddy. Just wanted to let you know that I thought it was fantastic. What an amazing story. I'm definitely going to read that book. You guys are just getting better every week. Really impressive interview with excellent questions and insights. Thanks so much again for all the effort you put into the show. Your passion and enthusiasm really shines through. Great work, Zeke and Left Hand. You guys rock. That's from Australia. I had
Thank
to
you
read
to
that.
our Aussie friend. Well, Brian, Trevor, thank you once again for coming on and creating a editing nightmare for me. But, hey, it's going to be a fun next 8 hours.
Hey,
the
wait,
last
on the-
3 hours were great.
On the
More than happy to give you work, Zeke. Can I have one shout out?
Sure.
I'd like to shout out to Artisan Tony. The listeners on the show might know who I am from the AR-15 beauty pageant, and I just want to say that as soon as I saw the pictures of the contestants,
The Woody.
I picked Artisan.
Everybody we've talked to has said the same thing. It was just so unique. I'd never
I'm
seen
so
anything
incredibly disappointed.
And I
I'm like
love
you,
that Trevor
Trevor.
hated it.
I didn't hate it, but I thought it was unique and different, but I still like Brian's better.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be glad to know that Artisan Tony's hat got shipped out the same time yours did. So,
No preferential treatment there.
although he only lives an hour and a half away, so he may get it a little quicker.
So tell us real
Yes.
quick how people can listen to you guys.
No.
Come on now.
You're just going to start being on our show, right?
They can find us on the Canadian Reload Radio Network.
Yes. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher.
Facebook.
You can find my show website, cscrpodcast.wordpress.com. Trevor, do you guys...
Yeah,
you guys-
we're straight up slamfireradio.com.
Slamfireradio.com, and you are Canadian Service Conditions Radio, right,
Canadian
Brian?
Service Conditions Radio, yep.
There we go.
And unlike usual, this is going to be a little different play-out song. I'm going to go back to the Blame Canada. Just as a salute to you guys. You know, we love you both. So,
I love that movie.
and as always, left hand, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms
Close.
No, blame Canada! Blame Canada! With all their beady little eyes and flapping heads so full of lies. Blame Canada! Blame Canada! We need to form a full assault! Don't blame me for my son Stan. He saw the darn cartoon and now he's off to join the clan. And my boy Eric once had my picture on his shelf, but now when I see him it tells me to myself. Well, blame Canada! Blame Canada! It seems that everything's gone wrong since Canada came along. Blame Canada! Blame Canada!
They're not even a real country anyway.